This is KGW News at noon.
Thank you for joining us this noon. I'm Nina Melhoff in for Brenda today. It has been a very busy day when it comes to Portland's protests at the federal courthouse downtown. We'll show you in a minute how police cleared everyone out of two parks early this morning who had been camping there. And there's been mixed messages between the White House and Oregon leaders about whether federal officers are indeed leaving the city after weeks of clashes with protesters in a deal supposedly reached with the governor. First, though, Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler sounding off on the tensions this morning.
I remain cautiously optimistic that federal tactical teams deployed by the president to occupy this community are poised to leave. Progressive cities around the country are standing together to defend their communities against hostile and dangerous federal interventions.
Wheeler says when it comes to police reform, there are changes that should have been made a long time ago and more disparities that need to be fixed. The mayor apologized for the Portland Police Bureau's use of tear gas on protesters early on. He has since made it a rule that tear gas will not be used by police on protesters unless there's risk of injury or death. He says it's been used twice this month by Portland police.
I apologize to those non-violent demonstrators who were subjected to the use of CS gas or LRAD. It should never have happened. I take personal responsibility for it, and I'm sorry. I also want to draw a clear distinction between the Portland Police Bureau's use of CS gas and what we're seeing the federal officers use. The federal officers are using CS gas broadly, indiscriminately, and nightly. And that is why it is escalating the behavior we're seeing on the streets rather than de-escalating it. And that's why this must come to an end.
Mayor Wheeler also said there were 4 elements to restoring downtown Portland: the federal officers leaving, de-escalating the violence, aggressive cleanup, and reopening businesses. Now to that big cleanup that I mentioned this morning downtown as these protests continue. At about 5:30, Portland police cleared Lounsdale and Chapman Squares, where people had set up camps with tents, even mini kitchens. KGW's Bryant Clerkley shows us what happened.
Portland police say they arrested at least one person this morning after clearing the parks near the Justice Center and the federal courthouse. These parks have been the focal point of overnight protests for 2 months now. Early this morning at Lonsdale and Chapman Squares, you could see yellow tape around the parks. Tents and trash were scattered throughout the area. Crews working to clean the squares. Police seen taking one man away with his hands behind his back and having another man on the ground before they picked him up and led him away to a police car. Authorities say they found things like a sledgehammer, improvised weapons, a leaf blower, and armor at the squares. Portland police sent out tweets just before 5:30 asking everyone in the park, including the media, to leave, or they could be arrested, ticketed, or subject to crowd control agents. You could see authorities walking through the area with face shields and masks on. Mayor Ted Wheeler says Oregon State Police requested the move to clear the parks, and this is part of the deal to remove federal agents from downtown Portland. I'm Bryant Clerkley, KGW.
All right, now to last night, going on 60 some odd days now. It started peacefully, like it normally does. Then things turned violent right around 11 o'clock when people didn't move back from the fence when told, and the feds deployed tear gas. Those officers also came out from behind the fence around the courthouse and formed a line to push demonstrators out of the area. Well, protests last night in Springfield turned into chaos. The protests started peacefully at a park in Eugene's Thurston neighborhood. There were 200 people marching and chanting there, but things quickly escalated when protesters ran into a police barricade. When they marched back to the park, they were met by counter-protesters. At least 2 people were taken into custody. A reporter from our sister TV station there says people from both sides claimed they had been punched, slapped, or sprayed with pepper spray. Now to an update on the way Portland holds police officers accountable for misconduct. Yesterday, city commissioners agreed to let voters decide on a new police oversight board. It would have authority to access police records, compel testimony, and discipline and fire officers. Supporters of the board say the current police review system is lacking in those areas. City Commissioner Joanne Hardesty spearheaded this idea.
It is absolutely critical that all Portlanders get to weigh in on determining what community safety looks like and what community accountability looks like.
So again, voters will ultimately decide whether to create this new police oversight board. It will be on the ballot this November if you live in the Portland area. The Police Union of Officers is against the idea, though, saying it was carelessly drafted without their input. Commissioner Hardesty is giving more details at a press conference happening right now. We'll have more on that in our newscasts later this afternoon. We have been tracking the protests now for over 2 months, and you can catch up on all of our coverage since the very beginning. We have a playlist dedicated to the protests on our KGW YouTube page. 3 former presidents honored the life of John Lewis at his funeral today. Lewis was a civil rights icon and served for more than 30 years in Congress. President Bill Clinton called Lewis a friend and sunshine in a storm. President George Bush acknowledged that he didn't always agree politically with Lewis, but said, quote, "His lesson for us is that we must keep all ourselves open to hearing the call of love, the call of service, and the call to sacrifice for others." President Barack Obama delivered the eulogy and shared this message.
He, as much as anyone in our history, brought this country a little bit closer to our highest ideals. And someday, when we do finish that long journey towards freedom, when we do form a more perfect union, whether it's years from now or decades, or even if it takes another 2 centuries, John Lewis will be a founding father of that fuller, fairer, better America.
President Obama also encouraged lawmakers to honor John by revitalizing the Voting Rights Act. New at noon, President Trump suggesting delaying the election while making unproven claims that mail-in voting due to the pandemic will lead to widespread fraud. He raised the idea of a delay on Twitter this morning. However, there is no evidence of widespread voter fraud through mail-in voting, even in states like Oregon, where all votes are mailed in. Also, shifting the November 3rd election is very difficult. Only Congress can change the date for the presidential general election. Now to the coronavirus. Former GOP presidential candidate Herman Cain has died after battling COVID-19. Cain had been ill with the virus for several weeks. It's not clear when or where he was infected, but he was hospitalized less than 2 weeks after attending President Trump's campaign rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma last month, where he was photographed in the arena without a mask. Cain was 74 years old. Health officials in Oregon are blaming community spread and social gatherings for the rise in new infections. The state reported another 304 new cases yesterday, continuing the trend we've been seeing since June. Another 8 deaths were also reported. Overall, deaths in Oregon have been low compared to other states. This chart shows them by day. 311 Oregonians have died from the virus. In Washington, new coronavirus restrictions started today. So under these new rules, only members of the same household will be able to eat together inside of restaurants. Bars will no longer offer indoor service, and no alcohol can be sold after 10 p.m.